Grandma's hand trembled as she lifted her teacup, her tired eyes fixed on the young waitress bustling between tables. The café was filled with the aroma of fresh pastries and roasted coffee, but for her, the world seemed to blur around that single face. Her heart raced as memories she thought she had buried clawed their way back. And then, in a shaky whisper that cracked the air, she leaned forward and muttered words that would change everything. You have my daughter's eyes." The waitress froze, her notepad slipping from her hands. Plates clattered in the background, voices hummed, yet silence thundered between them. In that fragile second, two worlds collided, past and present, brokenness and hope, woven together by a pair of familiar eyes. Sparkling heart, before we dive deeper into this powerful story, I want to pause and ask you something from the heart. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Corner. Every click of support helps us spread these life-changing stories to more hearts around the world. Sparkling heart. The young waitress, Emily, bent down to pick up her notepad, her cheeks flushed, but she felt the weight of the old woman's gaze. For years, Emily had grown used to people saying she looked familiar, but something about this was different. The rawness in the woman's voice carried sorrow, longing, and recognition all at once. It unsettled her. She smiled politely, brushing it off, and continued serving the table. But the grandmother's eyes never left her, shimmering with unshed tears. Emily was 23, working double shifts to make ends meet. Life had never been gentle with her. She grew up in foster care, moving from one home to another, carrying nothing but a small duffel bag and a heart that craved belonging. Her earliest memory was of being abandoned at a hospital as a toddler. No one ever came back. No explanations, no comforting arms, just a void she had filled with survival. She had learned to be strong, to smile through the ache, but deep down, she lived with a gnawing question: why wasn't she wanted? Grandma Margaret, on the other hand, carried her own wounds. Years ago, her only daughter, Claire, had vanished from her life after a bitter fallout. A single mother raising a little girl alone, Claire had gotten mixed up with the wrong people, made choices that pulled her further away from home. Margaret had begged her to come back, to let her help, but her daughter had disappeared one stormy night, taking her toddler with her. The police search yielded nothing. All Margaret was left with were sleepless nights, unanswered prayers, and a fading photograph of her daughter and granddaughter. She had buried the hope of ever finding them again, until this moment, when the waitress's eyes brought everything back to life. As Emily refilled their cups, Margaret reached for her hand. The touch startled her, but she didn't pull away. The old woman's voice cracked as she said softly, "I lost someone, years ago. And you look so much like her." Emily forced a smile, unsure how to respond, but inside her chest, something stirred, a strange warmth, a shiver of recognition. She brushed it off and hurried away, but the words echoed inside her like a haunting melody. The days that followed were not ordinary. Margaret returned to the café every single day, sitting at the same corner table, ordering the same tea. Emily noticed her there, always watching quietly, never saying much. At first, it unsettled her. But then, something about the woman's presence felt oddly comforting, almost like a silent guardian. One evening, as the café closed, Emily found Margaret waiting outside. The air was cool, the streetlights glowing faintly, and Margaret clutched a small, worn photograph in her hand. She offered it to Emily with trembling fingers. "This was my daughter, and her little girl." Emily hesitated, then took the photo. Her breath caught. The child in the picture, big curious eyes, a soft smile, a little bow in her hair, looked hauntingly familiar. It was her. It had to be her. Her knees weakened as the weight of truth pressed down. She whispered, "That's me." The world spun for them both. Margaret wept openly, clutching Emily's hand, whispering prayers of gratitude. Emily, stunned, could barely process what this meant. Could it be? After all these years of emptiness, could this stranger truly be her grandmother? But reality was complicated. Emily's mother, Claire, was gone, lost to a tragic accident years ago, as Margaret explained through trembling words. Emily listened in silence, her heart breaking for the mother she never knew, yet aching even more for the years stolen from her. Anger bubbled beneath the surface. Why didn't anyone find me? Why did I grow up alone? The days ahead were filled with raw conversations, long walks, and hesitant laughter. Margaret shared stories of Claire, her gentle singing voice, her stubborn streak, her dreams of giving Emily a better life. Emily listened, tears streaming, trying to piece together the fragments of a past she had never known. And slowly, the walls she had built began to crack. Still, healing was not easy. Emily battled waves of resentment, struggling to accept the love now being offered to her. She had survived so long without family, learning to trust no one but herself. Now, suddenly, someone claimed to be hers. Fear whispered that it could be taken away again. But Margaret never gave up. She showed up every day, with warm meals, with stories, with open arms. Her persistence wasn't forceful, it was gentle, patient, and unconditional. And little by little, Emily allowed herself to lean in. She found herself smiling more, laughing at Margaret's quirky jokes, feeling a sense of belonging she had never known. For the first time, she had someone who asked if she got home safe, someone who worried if she ate, someone who loved her simply for existing. Months later, on Emily's birthday, a day she usually spent alone, Margaret surprised her with a small gathering at the café. Balloons, a cake, and a card that read, "To my granddaughter, the light I thought I lost." Emily broke down in tears, hugging her grandmother tightly, realizing that love had finally found her after all the years of loneliness. Her story was no longer just about survival, it was about rediscovery, healing, and the extraordinary way life can bring people back together. Cherry Blossom, dear friends, if this story has touched your heart even a little, I humbly ask you to take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in miracles, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Corner. Your support helps us continue spreading hope, love, and second chances into the world. Cherry Blossom. And before we end, I'd love to hear from you. Would you welcome back someone you thought was lost if life gave you a second chance? Please leave your thoughts in the comments, we read every single one, and your words mean more than you know. Because sometimes, the greatest stories are not written in books, but in the hearts of people who choose to love again.